This 2002 Ford Excursion is my most recent investment. I actually just sold it last night. The buyer is coming to pick it up today, so I want to take this opportunity to show it to you. This is a rare opportunity to have it already sold and still have it in my possession, but because we ended up shaking hands late last night, we want to do the paperwork today, sign the title over, and make sure we have a bill of sale and everything straight for him for the DMV. I'm probably going to stay still because I'm crunching around in this field making a lot of noise, but I do have some videos of me walking around showing this thing because I got it all cleaned up for the Bring a Trailer auction. That was my intention when I bought it almost a year ago, was to use it for the time being. I have a growing family. We got 2 kids now. When I bought it, we only had the one and a pregnant wife. So now with 2 kids, this thing is plenty of room. We've got room in the back for all our beach stuff, or if we're going on a trip, all the suitcases, whatever you can imagine. It's been great for that. It also tows really well. I've pulled some of my other projects and investments, which are all giant vehicles because I like my big 4-wheel drives. With this thing, no sweat. The only things I've done to it are replace the front brake calipers because one of them got hot one day. So I went ahead and did both fronts. I did pay to get it detailed, which you should be able to see in the videos. A couple other paint touch-up things like that, which I had some help with. I did swap out the front grill. This is a F250 grill instead of an Excursion grill, which it already had one just like it, but it was faded, had a weird grandpa grill guard on it. I got rid of that. Other than that, really not too much to speak of. I'm going to try to walk. Bear with me if the grass is super loud. But this thing has been an excellent vehicle for our family, and it has just made us some money. So I'll start off with saying how much I paid for this and what it is. I don't know if I mentioned it is a V10. So V10, definitely bigger than a V8, a little bit, impressive power, but these come with diesels. And in 2002, that would have been a 7.3, which is like the pinnacle of reliability. Everybody loves those. They're worth a lot more money. So this being a V10 wasn't as expensive to own, but I'm also not going to sell it for as much as it could be with a diesel, but it still towed everything fine. So I paid $7,000 for this thing with 170,000 miles. It is super clean though. I bought it from a guy probably in his 60s. He's had it since it was like a year old. Garage kept. I saw the garage that he kept it in. He just got himself a new F350 dually, which this was now blocking in the driveway while he had his truck in the garage. So this needed to go. He was ready to make a deal. He felt he'd gotten his money's worth out of it over 20 years of ownership, and $7,000, he was happy. I was very stoked because I've seen what these have been going for at auction. People are really going crazy on these big 4-wheel drive family vehicles that can tow, because they just don't make anything on this like F250 chassis anymore that can really handle the weight and has the stopping power. I remembered that I also changed out the wheels and tires with something relatively modest. These are 18-inch F250 wheels instead of the 16-inch wheels that were on it. They're from a like 2009 truck, so slightly newer, a little bit different back spacing, so they fit a little different, but same lug pattern obviously. A little bit bigger tire. They do rub a little bit if you do a U-turn while you're hitting the brakes, which we just found in a test drive. I hadn't actually experienced that much, but the guy that bought it is actually buying it from Facebook Marketplace locally. So I put it up after talking to everybody I know about how I want to clean this thing up, put it on Bring a Trailer, because I've been seeing this exact same V10 Excursion that's this clean. Now, not all Excursions are this clean. I'm telling you, this thing is super slick. $20,000 what I've been seeing them go for at the high. Some of them are going for less than that, but to pay $7,000, I'm hoping to double my money. But I also threw it up on Facebook just before I get locked in to an auction where I have to sell it or not meet reserve, and then people are wondering why it wasn't worth that much, and then I have a hard time selling it. So I threw it on Facebook, and I actually had somebody interested at really close to my asking price. I'll go over that here in a bit, but I also want to point out you can get a lot of use out of a vehicle and it still make you money. You don't have to really lose money on a vehicle. Now, I take a lot of my financial lessons from Dave Ramsey, but some things I do completely backwards from what he does. Like, I have 7 vehicles right now, and he would think that's completely insane and totally, you know, irresponsible financially. They're all paid for in cash, which, okay, he likes that, but he says you shouldn't have too many assets that can depreciate, which vehicles, boats, four-wheelers, all that stuff. You buy it and the next day it's worth less money. Well, with some of this older stuff, that's not always the case. You just have to do your research, and in my case, I found something. I spent months deciding on exactly what I wanted to get. I found it, bought it, used it to the full potential. I basically rented a vehicle to tow all my projects from Florida to North Carolina and then sold it for a profit. I mean, it's been everything you could ask for in a purchase. And I just want to tell y'all that, yeah, I don't have the big shiny truck I used to, but I also don't have the debt I used to. I want to start a series to explain that, yes, with Grappaholics and this excitement about my big tires that I like to put on everything, I could have a brand new truck, and I could honestly pay cash for a brand new truck, but I really enjoy having a vehicle at almost no cost to me, paying cash, and then when I'm ready to sell it, making some money. That is why I have these multiple old vehicles right now. Some of them are projects I want to keep forever, but having a new truck that is just like your neighbor's just is not my thing anymore. With that being said, this is not something for everybody. This 2002 does not have all the bells and whistles, even though I like how the steering wheel controls the AC, temp, fan, radio. It's got all kinds of buttons, but it's not 2023, 2024 material as far as the features. Now, I personally like having something a little bit older, like you can manually lock the hubs on this, which you can with a lot of the new trucks as well, or they're automatic with vacuum, but there's a lot of simplicity here that I like, and these old V10s are not super powerful, not good on gas, but they just go forever. And some of the stuff that's tried and true, you just can't get anymore. So I tend to like it. My wife wanted something newer and nicer, and I made sure that I could do it in cash. So we'll go back to her car. I'll explain a little bit more about how I bought that, and I actually used depreciation to my advantage. I almost left without telling y'all how much I paid for this thing. It is a little bit private, talking about my financial journey with these vehicles, because I buy and sell. People will know me in the local area, and I want to have a good reputation, but I'm also making smart choices that I'm trying to pass that information on. I paid $7,000. I spent $1,000 getting it a little bit shinier, cleaned up, looking like I wanted to, and I sold it for $16,500. So $8,000 invested, $8,500 profit. More than doubled my money, and that is my jam with these older vehicles. I love the way an old vehicle can make you money. Now, not everything's worth that kind of money. You got to find the real nice examples. You can't just go buy something expensive and try to sell it for even more. This was a good deal. You got to start with a good deal. You got to buy from the right person, preferably an older, adult that did not dog the thing and tear it up. It has been driven back and forth to Disney with his family for years. It never even had a hitch installed in the receiver until I got it, and I towed about 10 things with it. But it has done flawless performance for me. I'm really excited about this vehicle. I'm very grateful that this came into my life, and I want to make sure that I'm going about this the right way and passing along the information, thanking the man upstairs for helping me as I pray for guidance to get to the right place for my family, where we have no debt, we have a nice big house, and we have everything we need without payments that we have to worry about. All we have is a mortgage, and it's just peaceful. All right, I got the key now. Open it up, check it out real quick. I gotta put the kids' car seat in here. I've been looking for the brown leather. My wife fell in love with it after I actually was showing her pictures of one that I tried to buy her like 2 years ago. My wife's standing in there with the baby in the airport, so gotta go, but this thing is mint. Oh, her face. Ooh, she seems excited. Oh. Woo, that thing is clean. We're gonna have to keep this one. That thing is too nice. All right, let me get this stuff.
The dash is wrapped in leather.
I think that's real wood too. My wife and 2 kids and I have made it to our new house. It's way bigger than our last one. It's 2-story and 3,000 square foot. And it was actually cheaper than our house in Florida, what we sold it for, just because of where we were at near the beach. And now we're more in the country. But really excited about this. I already got a back porch, a little screened in porch, and it's not the biggest yard. So you can see I've marked out my spot over here for the shop. That's going to do it for this video, but be sure to subscribe and come back for our other videos in this playlist. In my financial videos, I'm going to be talking about how I paid cash for my wife's Escalade, everything that got us to this point of being debt-free and having all these vehicles and projects, as well as some home buying tips and how I'm paying cash for a large garage for me to work on my trucks in the backyard. Working on leveling this back spot here so I can park a truck behind the shop in the lean-to. So we got the whole family out here helping, shoveling, swinging, snacking, getting it done.